Today is March 21st, 2011. In your blue notebook, you guys are working on page 210, and in your textbook, the lesson starts on page 210. I wanted you guys to copy down the second bullet for the key concept, okay? So hopefully you have that down. We're going to go over 3 examples of binomial products and distributive property, okay? So you're going to have many questions like this. We're going to recap something you guys did from grade 9, distributive. Distributive property, okay? So this will be our first example. We're going to call this example 1. It's not in your textbook. I'm just making it up, okay? So we have 2x, 3x minus 4, okay? So let's say you've been given this question, and they've asked you to simplify this question. In order to do so, actually, let's go through the steps first. Our very first step, they asked us to simplify. Okay, great. We'll look through bedmass. First thing we deal with in bedmass, put it on the side, is our brackets. Okay? So first thing we're going to deal with are brackets. Well, I look inside the brackets. I can't simplify this any farther. Okay? There are 2 terms, but they're not like terms. One has a variable attached to it, and one of them is just a constant number. I can't do anything with that. So there's nothing to simplify in the brackets, so I don't deal with the brackets. Exponents. There's no exponent, so nothing to deal with there. Next thing we're going to deal with, okay? Technically, it's division and multiplication at the same time. Okay? So I don't have any division, but I do have a multiplication. It's called distributive property. My multiplication is I'm going to be taking the term on the outside, and I'm going to be multiplying it by both terms inside the brackets. Okay? So this is a multiplication question. So in other words, your next line will deal with a calculation like this. We have 2x times 3x plus we have 2x times negative 4. Many of you will be able to do this right in your head. So the step I'm putting out right now, not necessary if you can skip it, but it'll help you organize, okay? Now remember, this is a recap of something you guys learned in grade 9. So 2x times 3x. We multiply these numbers. We multiply the coefficients first. 2 times 3 is 6. Then we deal with the variables. X and x. X times x is x squared. There's our first term. And our second term. 2 and negative 4. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. And I have x times nothing else, so I just leave it as, or you could say it as 1, x times 1. I leave it as my x. So our final term, I'm not sure why I did that in red, 6x squared minus 8x. Okay, let's go our second example. Actually, I think it's going to be the second example in the textbook also. Example 2. Yeah, perfect. In your textbook, page 215. Page 215, find each binomial product. We're going to do C, okay? If you guys can understand C, you can easily do A and B. And I think you guys have the intelligence to go straight to C. So, yes. Question C states 3x plus 7 multiplied by x minus 5. Okay. So this is essentially what we're going to be working on today. This is distributive property again. The reason I asked you if you learned FOIL is because it's a way to help organize this. Okay? FOIL. So we have bedmass, you need to know, and you need to know it's called FOIL. Make sure you get this down, what FOIL is. So, F stands for first. O is outside. I is inside. And L is last. Okay, we call it FOIL, F-O-I-L. Stands, it's an acronym for these terms. When referring to this, it's telling you what order to multiply numbers by. Okay? Because we have 4 terms in 2 separate brackets, there's actually 4 different multiplication combinations we're going to make here. Okay? I'm going to walk you through it. The first one is called first. And the reason it's called first is because it means it wants you to multiply the first number in each bracket. So your first pairing is going to be the first number, which is 3x in the first bracket, and the first number in the second bracket. First number in the second bracket is x. So our first combination is 3x times x. That is our first pair that we're going to multiply together. Okay? Next. Sorry, that was first. Next, we deal with the outside numbers. The outside numbers are going to be the number that's most to the left and most to the right. So what that means is our outside most to the left is our 3x again. And the number that is most to the right is negative 5. So our outside pairing is 3x, negative 5. I'm going to probably have to move this over a little. Move that a little. There you go. Okay. Our next pairing. So we've done the first. We've done the outside. We're going to deal with the inside numbers. Okay? The inside numbers are positive 7. I know it doesn't look so nice, but that says positive 7. And the other inside number is x. So the next pairing we deal with is 7 times x. So we've done the inside. And finally, last. They want us to deal with the last numbers in all of the brackets, which means I'm dealing with positive 7 and negative 5. So we have 7 and negative 5. Actually. Mind if I get a drink, sir? Go ahead. Okay, so now that we've set this up, it's simple as doing the multiplication and simplifying the terms. So I have 3x times x. That's going to be 3x squared. I have 3x times negative 5, negative 15x. I have 7 times x, positive 7x. And I have 7 times negative 5 is negative 35. Okay? So now I've made all my combinations. I'm going to rewrite this all in black now. 3x squared minus 15x plus 7x minus 35. Okay. Now finally I need to combine my like terms. There's one pair of like terms in this. Tom, what are they? Yes. Negative 15x and positive 7x can be combined. Negative 15x and positive 7x together, negative 8x. So our final polynomial is 3x squared minus 8x minus 35. That would be our final answer to this. Okay, there's a question at the bottom of page 214. Oh my gosh, there you go. Blue notebook. Page 214, there's one question. I want you to complete that. And then, on page 215, I would like you to complete those. There's example 1 and 2, and there's question 1, A to F. I'm going to give you guys about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I want you to finish page 214 in your blue notebook, and page 215 in your blue notebook, okay? We have 5 minutes to get through this. Otherwise, YouTube won't let me post this. So, our question 3A, negative 2 times 4x minus 5 multiplied by 7x minus 6. Okay, so there are a lot of different points to this. I want you guys to deal with my pair of brackets first. Okay? Which means I want you to use FOIL in those brackets. So, when you go to reset up this question, so FOIL, I want you to add a second pair of brackets. Your questions are going to now look like this. Equals negative 2 square set of brackets, okay? Square set of brackets helps with our bed math. So you're going to be adding your own. You'll learn in math that you can actually add brackets to questions to help you organize things. So, square set of brackets, 4x minus 5, 7x minus 6. Square set of brackets. This square set of brackets, according to bed math, lets us know that I'm dealing with all of this first, okay? These are brackets within the brackets. Don't really worry about that. But it's just letting us know that I'm dealing with this first, then we're going to deal with this negative 2 on the outside. That'll be our last step, okay? So we're going to FOIL the terms on the inside. So it's going to look like this, negative 2. And I'm going to put that bracket again. 4x minus 5, 7x minus 6. So, in my next line, I have my square brackets. My first terms are 4x and 7x. My outside terms are 4x, negative 6. Our inside terms are negative 5 and 7x. And finally, our last terms are negative 5 and negative 6. Negative 6 and n square brackets. Now, like I said before, this step here doesn't have to be done. Okay? You can skip it. Go for it. That's fine. Now I'm going to simplify the inside of those brackets. So, 4x times 7x, 28x squared. 4x times negative 6 is negative 24x. Negative 5 times 7 is negative 35x. And negative 5 times negative 6 is positive 30. I've done that. I'm going to simplify again. Inside those brackets, I have two like terms. Negative 24x minus 35x. That's going to give us negative 59x plus 30. So, now inside the brackets, I'm as simple as possible. I have one term with an x squared, one term with an x to the power of 1, and one constant term. I still have to apply my negative 2. This goes back to our first example, distributive property. I have to multiply negative 2 by every term inside. So, negative 2 times 28 is negative 56 x squared. Negative 2 times 59 is positive 118 x. And negative 2 times positive 30 is negative 60. So, if we look back at the top again, walk us through this. We dealt with our FOIL first. We multiplied our brackets. Once we simplified the brackets, we distributed the negative 2, and finally simplified the rest of the question.